This is the Alphacool extension tubing kit that is for the Eisbaer and the Eiswolf. This kit comes with two different tubes, a red and a blue line, but the purpose of the kit is to add in additional pieces to the Eisbaer or the Eiswolf. In this particular case, what we're going to do today is show you how to install the fittings onto a regular radiator and then add it into the Eisbaer loop. Say you had an extra rad laying around and you wanted to add it in, but you didn't want to do all sorts of crazy tubing and everything like that. Well, you could get the extension kit, add it into your radiator, fill it up with the fluid that is provided, and then you would be all set and good to go. The tubing is just G and a quarter thread, so it is a revolvable fitting here, so it does turn. So threading it into any G and a quarter port should be a cinch. This one's a little sticky, so what I'm going to do is use the tube by rotating it around to help it get started. And then once it gets down to the bottom, I'll use my fingers to actually tighten it all the way down. That's both fittings installed. So now that you have a red line and a blue line, as you can see, you have a red line and a blue line. So as long as you pretty much match up the red to blue and the red to blue, you should be in good shape. Be advised, when you take apart this particular Eisbaer or Eiswolf fitting, it's going to be very, very tight. You may need assistance with a wrench in order to actually get it to loosen, but the part you're trying to loosen is actually this middle ring here. And once you break that free, you'll be able to add in this other radiator. I was able to do this one by hand. Now it's also important to have some paper towels around because there will be probably a drip or two that comes out of the end of these quick disconnect fittings. Like I said, a little drip. Just pour the excess out onto the paper. And then what you can do is connect your red to blue. Thread that back in on there until it's tight, and then do the same. Thread the red to the blue. Now what you're going to want to do is take the reservoir and actually turn it upside down, and you'll see that water starts to go down the reservoir and bubbles start to come up from the other radiator because the water is starting to flow down. Once you've moved the radiator around and shook the reservoir around, it's a good idea to provide power to the reservoir itself. If you notice that none of the water has actually come out of the Eisbaer, what you'll need to do is turn it on to push the fluid through to the other radiator. You'll only want to turn it on for a couple seconds to watch the water level go down. Once the water level goes down, you'll need to uncork it and fill it up. As you can see, the water is almost completely emptied out of the reservoir. Now you'll definitely need to add water. The fill cap is also fairly tight to put in. You may need a large flathead or a coin to loosen it up. Once you have the cap open, you can unscrew the lid of the liquid that is provided. Insert the fill tube. The fill tube can just be pulled. There we go. Tightened up. And then you will add in some fluid. Alright, once the reservoir is capped off and filled up again, then you can apply power and watch the reservoir go down again, as you can see. And then unplug it, move the radiator around as you can tilt this, the reservoir and the radiator up and down and around, and what will happen is you'll get the air bubbles out of the radiator into the reservoir, which will ultimately lower the water inside. Then you'll have to uncork it again and fill it and repeat. So it's kind of a Once you do it one time, you'll have to do it about 3 or 4 more times until you get all of the air out of the system. And then you will have a complete loop that you really didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot with, besides adding in the fittings and installing them into your reservoir or your water block or whatever, and installing the quick disconnect fittings and filling up your reservoir. So a fairly quick and easy way to expand your Eisbaer or your Eiswolf system.